Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Whatever, Whenever, the show where we talk about whatever we want, whenever we want. I am Robin.
And I'm the Mentok, and I'm eating a donut.
Damn, I wish I had a donut. I actually went to Goodwill a few weeks ago and got this, DoorDash branded, mini donut maker. I haven't made anything with it. I should really do something with that. It's just kind of sitting there.
I thought you were going to say that Goodwill started making donuts.
Oh, no. But if they did, they would probably taste terrible and be stale.
Secondhand donuts?
Secondhand donuts.
Somebody make that a thing, please.
Someone, please make a store called Secondhand Donuts where you just go to other donut stores, buy them, and then sell them a day later.
You know, I feel like that would do well in places like New York or Portland. You go to one of those neighborhoods.
Probably.
It's like, yeah, I'm going to Pete's Secondhand Donuts. They're so amazing. They're so good. You would never know that somebody else is eating them.
Yeah.
It's crazy what takes off sometimes. But yeah, I kind of moved away from Dunkin' and stuff. I used to like them as a kid. I guess that's kind of like fast food in general. As a kid, they seem like the most magical places, which might be on purpose. So congrats to you, marketing team. It worked on me as a kid. But yeah, I used to think Dunkin' Donuts was the shit. And not to say it's bad now, but I see a lot of local donut places popping up in my area, and been kind of gravitating toward those.
Yeah, there's this donut place. I'm not near it anymore, but there was this place called Henry's Donuts that we used to go to. They're pretty good. And there's also a place that is a little closer to me now. It's called Legendary Donuts, and they sell these you can't even call it a fucking donut, but they sell this giant
It's like a mini cake.
It's frosted and layered to look like a giant cheeseburger, but it's essentially a cake, and it's $55 or something.
Jesus Christ.
It's fucking massive. If you ever come up here, I'm gonna make you look at it, not buy it, but at least see it.
Because I don't think any dessert is worth that price for me, unless I'm getting something for the whole family or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great starter. I hope you guys are settling in with your donuts right now, listening to the Whatever Whenever podcast.
Yeah.
What do we have to talk about today?
I just uploaded an interview, the third one I've done.
Yeah, so you actually mentioned this to me. You're interviewing the creator of Alice is Dead, which, for context, we talked about on this podcast before when we had that Newgrounds rant. We went down that rabbit hole, no pun intended. Alice in Wonderland, get it?
Yeah.
So yeah, Robin recently did an interview with the creator of that series, which was pretty popular in my day, I guess I should say. I don't know. I don't know if it still has a huge following now, or if he's planning on new stuff. So
it actually
I'll give you the floor to kind of talk about that.
Yeah, actually, I reached out to interview him because YouTuber Two Left Thumbs, who he's been covering a lot of Newgrounds stuff. He kind of went on this again, no pun intended, rabbit hole of doing nothing but Deltarune videos for a month straight, just because he wanted to catch every single possible Easter egg and reference and theory that he could, and it just kind of took off. But yeah, he has been publishing a lot of games recently, including Fancy Pants Adventure Collection and Dead Estate, and this Kickstarter game called what's it called? Scrabdackle. But
is Dead Estate that one survival game where you kind of have to set up and then all the zombies pull up while you're on this wall, and you have to find survivors and they can help you shoot at them and stuff, and they come in waves and stuff?
I know which one you're talking about, but it's not that one. It's the isometric one that got released on Steam recently, where you go into a mansion and you play as a trucker and this other chick, and you can unlock more characters as you go through. But yeah,
Maybe it's called Dead State or something. I don't know. Like
I know
there's-
I know what
played
you're
so
talking.
many freaking Newgrounds games. Yeah, like
Yeah.
they all kind of mesh together in my head. Some are like copied off of each other, and the copy got more popular and stuff like that. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to see if that was the one I was thinking.
Yeah, no, I know what you're thinking of. Two Left Thumbs actually did do a deep dive on that one. Let me look it up for you. Because, like I said, he's been mostly covering a lot of those games. The Last Stand, is that what you were thinking of?
I was thinking of The Last Stand. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured. But yeah, going back on...
There is a sequel to that game too, so I think you guys should check that out. If you like, balloons, which for some reason is like super popular on Twitch, and I think that honestly even started on Newgrounds as well. Go check out, The Last Stand. That's a fun little survival game.
Yes. Well, he's also publishing Alice is Dead, Hearts and Diamonds, which is a collection of the whole series that Hypnosis, the game's creator, is making. So I thought, oh, well, now's the perfect time to interview him while he's making this new collection.
Okay.
Yeah. And
how many of those games are there now? Like, I think there was 3, right?
yeah, there was 3, and he's doing a remake of all of them. He's playing them from the... Like, he's doing them all from the ground up, and once he's done with that, he's going to see if he can, like, maybe do some, like, other stuff to it as well, like, maybe lore consistency stuff or something. And if the game does popular, he has ideas for a sequel and a prequel, but, that's only if people like it and it takes off and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the cool part about those games is they hold up pretty well because... it's mostly like a hand-drawn point-and-click.
Yeah.
So a lot of that art was pretty spectacular back in the day. I'm not sure if it's my nostalgia glasses, but very distinct, more like, I guess, a noir feel to Alice in Wonderland, if I'm correct on that.
Yeah, kind of. In my interview, he said he was inspired by old heist movies he watched, like Reservoir Dogs, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also, I'm not sure if a lot of people remember The Wolf Among Us.
Oh, I should have asked him about that.
Yeah,
I completely
there's a
forgot.
Telltale game based around like a comic book series called Fables, which, takes all of those fairy tale stuff that we know and love and makes it more of like a noir or a type of a darker feel to it. So it definitely reminds me of Alice is Dead. I'm not sure which came first. Alice is Dead is definitely before the Wolf Among Us game, but as far as the comics go, I know that's pretty long running. So,
yeah, I have no idea. I wish I had remembered that game existed. Otherwise, I would have asked him about it.
yeah, if Alice is not a part of that Fables, she is. Never mind.
No.
I was gonna say that would be a nice crossover if she wasn't already in those comics.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that coming back. Maybe it deserves a replay because I love point and click stuff. I've been a big fan of those since like my childhood days with the silly putt games, and eventually I started playing Sierra point and clicks, which is another era in itself.
Yeah, he actually cited Sierra point and clicks as an inspiration for Alice is Dead.
Yeah, that company was killing the game with point and clicks. A lot of them are really outdated though.
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of go back to them. I wish that they were like, I wish there was new content similar to that though. Like I think like the last couple of games in the King's Quest series, and even though I think there's a new King's Quest, I like that little pixelated look and stuff from the old school stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So did you ask him about the song, or should we just direct everybody to your
Fuck,
interview?
I forgot.
I
knew, I knew, like, I was supposed to, like, ask him something, but I completely forgot.
Oh, it's fine.
In my defense, he was late for the interview because he was cleaning out his garage.
Well, shout out to the garage cleaning. Hope the garage sale goes well. Probably not having a garage sale.
Probably not. But yeah.
Man, that's like such a cliche thing to do, you know, like I gotta go clean out the garage. It's like not to knock him or anything.
I don't know if he'll get mad at me for saying this or not, but like he told me that his wife told him to go clean out the garage. And then after that he started building a shelf and just kind of lost track of time, which, you know, no hate or anything. I completely understand, but I just
Definitely not.
I just think it's a little funny.
I haven't really. I'm not a homeowner as of yet, and you know, seeing where the world's going right now is probably going to be even more of a bitch these days. But,
I'm probably never gonna have a house in my lifetime. Let's be real.
yeah, like I mean, you kind of like, I guess the whole question behind renting and buying now is like a legitimate question.
Yeah.
But I guess like my advice to everyone when you buy a house, just keep the garage clean. Don't turn it into a storage spot, or try your best to like store only the things that you need. Don't hide it from plain sight. Like, oh my gosh, this needs to go somewhere, I'll just stick it in the garage. Because then that's how like 10 years, 15 years later, you're going to be cleaning out the garage. And yeah, it's going to be a bad time.
Yeah.
So, but not to knock anyone that does do that. I haven't had a garage, so I can't speak. Like, I just see my parents' garage, and I'm like, man, this is what we've come to. But I've seen worse too. Like, it's not even like it's an organized mess. It's not. I've seen the unorganized garage mess.
Organized
where, like, everything's
chaos.
like stacked on top of each other, and just like you can't even fit cars in there. That's what your garage is for. It's for your car.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, sidetrack.
Yeah, it's all good.
Anything else from the interview you want to talk about? Any spoilers that we can get? Like,
Not really. I think it's best if you just go in reading it. I did find out about an anime I've never heard of from him, so that's cool.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
An old school one?
Yeah, it's called like Lotus War or something. Lotus.
Oh, I've heard. Yeah, Record of Lotus War.
Yeah, that one.
You know what's funny about that one, actually? Like, around the time when Toonami was airing like every popular anime, like back in, I guess this is like the late 90s.
Yeah.
Early 2000s, more likely. For some reason, you could watch that show, but only on Toonami's website, and that was like brief. It was so weird, the release of that, because they were like hyping this Toonami online platform. They're just like, yeah, so go check us out online. You can watch cool stuff like yada 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 and Record of Lotus War. I'm like, what is that? I'm gonna go find that, and I think I had a hard time like finding the episodes on that, especially because I was still on dial-up while everybody was like moving to DSL and broadband. So just funny backstory of how that was released in the past.
Yeah. But yeah, no, just go check it out. Go read it for yourself. Give me views on my page. Subscribe to my Newgrounds.
Yeah, subscribe to his Newgrounds.
Give me all your money. Donate to my Ko-Fi. Link below.
Robin's like one of the most active Newgrounders I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's because I like woke up one day and said fuck social media, return to forums, and just pretty much gave up on Twitter and everything and just started posting on Newgrounds.
If you like really downvote something, or if you give it like a 0, do they still call that a blam?
Yeah, they still call it blam, and they still call it blam and slam and everything.
Oh, great! I'm glad that that's still a thing.
Yeah.
Getting blammed was like
the worst.
It was huge because like there would be an influx of like new content every day, so like the blamming was, I guess, more of a thing than it is now. Like, I guess blam is when you put 0, but like everyone would bring out the blam a lot because if you had something new and it was garbage, you would see all the comments like, yeah, this is definitely getting blamed.
Yeah.
And, like, everybody would just like, nah, this is trash. So it was interesting how that system worked back in the day.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, let me turn to the gaming world. We have a couple big releases this month. The first being Horizon Forbidden West, which I have not had time to get into or even buy.
Forbidden West, more like I haven't played the rest.
Forbidden chess. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I played the original. I won't harp on this too long, but I played the original. Definitely a great game. It's now on PC. If anyone who is like anti-Sony wants to give it a shot, it's on PC. Forbidden West is going to be time exclusive, of course. And but yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. I just love the only controversy surrounding this. I've heard it's a great game. The only controversy surrounding this is that it's got an 88 Metacritic score, and this caused so many like anti-Sony people on Twitter to say, "Oh, look, this is the garbage that Sony's releasing these days." And I'm like, I don't even come at this as like a fan of Sony. I'm just like, it's just really gotten this petty review-wise, where other people who don't have the console that it's out for is looking at these games, and if it doesn't hit over a 90, then it's like a failure in their eyes.
It feels like, I don't know, maybe console wars have always been this petty and dumb, but it just feels like they went from like being petty and dumb to being just like, don't like what, you're not even trying anymore. You know? Like, at least before you'd hear someone say something slightly creative like Pretendo 64, but now you just hear shit like, oh, this game has a better Metacritic rating, even though in every other instance people will always say, oh, Metacritic ratings don't matter, they're all dumb, they're all stupid.
Well, the thing is, like, Metacritic takes from everything.
Yeah, it's
like
a
shitty,
review,
like a shitty source. Like I just started up my magazine. Go check me out, and I hate everything. Right?
Yeah, that's
gonna put an impact on my score, or the overall Metacritic score.
They're an aggregator. They take scores from everything. They're not scoring things themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, all that aside, like, I'm not gonna say that the console wars right now is more toxic than it's ever been, because I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I think
it's just more petty than it's ever been.
Yeah, or people are just finding reasons, and like, in all honesty, Sony and Microsoft worked pretty well together, and they get along a lot more than they used to. Like,
yeah,
I remember back when the 360 and PS3 dropped out, like, they would take did I say PS3?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, when they dropped, like, they were actually taking jabs at each other on stage and all that stuff at E3, and Nintendo was kind of in the same boat, but not as loud, because they were dropping the Wii, and that's when they kind of differentiated themselves in the market. But that was a very toxic time, especially now that at that time, like, that's when YouTube started getting popular, and you had people like Chad Warden, who is just like really pushing the meme to the forefront.
Keep using that clip in all of your streams.
I love throwing that out there.
Sony always wins.
Sony always wins, baby. Sony always wins. Chad Warden was like, it's funny because no one knew that he was being sarcastic at the time.
No one knew he was a troll.
Yeah, YouTube trolls are like brand new. So his comment section was just like people trashing this dude and just saying how, man, what do you mean the Xbox doesn't have games? We have Halo, we have this, we have that. Like, you had people just falling into that trap. Because like, he wasn't the only one that was doing that, right? Yeah. Everyone else wasn't trolling. Like, there were people actually just... And back in that time, you could reply to YouTube videos. So, like, you could upload a video in a reply to someone else's video. Which, I don't know if that'd be a good or a bad idea to bring back, but, like, I miss that functionality. So, yeah, I mean, that's the console wars. And, of course, there's other people who will say, like, Nintendo and Sega was even worse. But I was too young to even, like, fathom what was going on then and how bad that could have gotten, really. Like, what would you do? Like, call people on the phone like, hey, that's why Sega sucks, bruv. You know, like... Anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Horizon Forbidden West. I haven't played it yet, but if you guys are interested in taking a look at that, it's gotten pretty good reviews. I would recommend playing the first game, though. Definitely a nice one. I'm pretty sure you can get it on sale now.
Yeah. Never played Horizon Zero Dawn because I don't have a PS4. The Switch is my only, like, new generation console that I have.
can your PC not run it?
Oh no, it probably can. I just didn't know it was on PC until you just said so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's there. It's there on PC somewhere. I don't know if it's like Epic Game Store or Steam. I'm pretty sure it's on Steam.
Hope it's on Steam. I don't want to have to download another fucking launcher for it.
And then I guess also like, oh, before I get to the next game, the next big game for this month. I guess I'm gonna sound Sony fanboyish, but it's not. I'm just aggregating all the tweets that I've read over time. Why is it people get on Sony's case for having exclusives and not Nintendo?
Favoritism.
Like I see people like, oh well, if Sony were to put their games on PC, but it's like, business wise, why would I do that if I'm selling a console? Xbox can do it because they're Microsoft, right? It makes sense.
I'm gonna say this right now. It's because Nintendo just gets a free pass at everything, pretty much. Like I don't want to say that like that's just how it is. That's how I see it, but like it just feels that way because you'll have Nintendo do like a massive takedown of all of this like fan projects or whatever, and then like a week later they'll do a Nintendo Direct and suddenly no one cares, and no one cares that they have exclusives on the Switch only, and it's just, I don't know, it just feels like Nintendo always gets a free pass at everything. And if they criticize Microsoft or Sony for doing something and Nintendo does it, they just don't care because Nintendo is right. Nintendo and they get a free pass.
Right, because like Sony is at least bringing out like a ton of PS4 games, right? Well, a ton, I say like liberally, but like they're releasing the Uncharted games onto PC, or at least Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
They've released Horizon Zero Dawn. They've released God of War, which is doing tremendously well on PC right now. So I think like based on those sales, I think after a timed exclusive, of course, I don't think all of these are going straight to PC. But it like as a business, it helps your bottom line if you're pushing your own platform and your own console. So that makes sense to me, especially if it's timed exclusive. Like that is competition. That's business. So that's why I'm not as like upset over like timed exclusives, because when Xbox does it too, like I get it. You don't want Halo on PlayStation. Why would you want that? You know, that'd be nice. That'd be options for other gamers, but it doesn't make sense business wise to say, okay, well, yeah, let me just throw my game around. It makes sense for them to release it on PC because they have that Game Pass and they own the Windows platform. So chances are, you know, you're playing it on either one of those. And if you're not buying an Xbox, well, chances are you have Windows anyway. So, hey, use our platform to do that. So it makes sense there, right? Nintendo's just not interested in any of that. And people seem to apply, they do not apply the same logic. And I think, honestly, Nintendo could make a shit ton of money if they had like a Netflix type game service for all of their old games from like Super Nintendo, from just regular Nintendo all the way up to GameCube, like just that, or even Wii. I know Wii's a little, well, no, Wii might not even be that hard because you can use a mouse as like the pointer, right? But like have this emulation platform. I think that shit would do so well, and have it like as a subscription service, much like you see on the Nintendo Switch Online, but just release all your old games. The Switch games don't have to be on there, but just make a platform. Nintendo could make a shit ton of money by doing that.
Okay, but you're forgetting the fact that Nintendo is the old man of the gaming industry.
Oh man, like it's just funny. Like over the years, like Japanese publishers. I mean, save a few. There's some Japanese publishers out there that immediately go to PC now. I think Capcom is one of them, and then you have like some of the indie ones or the smaller ones like Gust, I think, who do the Atelier series and stuff like that. Like those guys kind of get it, but there are other Japanese like publishers that are just like PC. We'll think about it, and then when they finally release a game on PC and it does well, they're like, huh.
Well, that's interesting.
I'm surprised at that. Yeah. I didn't know y'all wanted this.
Yeah, I'm surprised that this sold well. We're never going to put anything else on PC again, but this was neat.
I'm looking at you, Atlas.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking Atlas the second I said that.
Yeah. And like, Atlas is run by Sega, but I think Sega's like leaving them mostly independent to do their own thing. And
Yeah.
Sega has released like a shit ton of PC games too, and they're doing very well on that platform as well, especially with like Total War and all that. So yeah, I mean, hey, I think Nintendo is going to be the last Japanese developer to make that move.
Yeah.
But I don't
agree.
think they'll ever do it, in my opinion.
I think they'll do it if console market dies off and it's all PC. But aside from that, I don't see them doing it.
All right. They have so much property that they could just pawn off and people would buy it. I'm telling you. Like, all your classics, just have them available. Like, it doesn't even have to be like that third-party stuff from back in the day. Although it'd be nice, like, let's say Battletoads and all that stuff. But, like, forget the licensing. Just do everything that you own. Everything you own, like, as Nintendo. Everything that you own, just release it. All the Game Boy Advance games, all those jewels. And stop shutting down, like, these emulation sites, because they will go away if you release an alternative for that. And the Switch is not doing that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, so I sidetracked a lot, but I
It's all
guess the
good.
next game, next game coming out is Elden Ring, which is everyone's collectively jizzing their pants in the gaming community right now over that game. I'll be getting it. I'm just kind of like burnt out on Souls games. I think they're very well done, but I'm still pending to see what Elden Ring brings to the table. It won a Game Award 2 years in a row without doing anything.
I've never
So
played
let's just put it in perspective.
yeah. I've never played a Souls game. They don't really seem all that interesting to me. All I know is that there's like people always say that they're the hardest games ever made, which I don't know, just outside looking in, that doesn't really feel true, especially because my friend Andrew told me that his wife, who's never played a Souls game, just sat down, played it, and then faced one of the bosses, immediately learned its attack pattern, and took it out, like, after she died only once. So, I don't know.
I mean, everyone looks at like those games like, oh, it's so difficult.
But I think the problem is that the reason why they have a reputation of being so difficult is because mostly game journalists play them.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Like, honestly, I played the original Demon Souls for PlayStation 3 when it came out. I'm like, oh, this game looks fun. And, that game initially was barely coming to the US. Like, they dubbed the whole thing in English in Japan already.
Yeah.
Or they were selling it to, like, the Asian market in English. So, people were importing it. And the fact that everyone started importing that game, that's when, I think it was Atlas, actually, that decided to publish it here. So, we got that for a US version of that for PlayStation 3. And when I played it, I'm like, yeah, this game is pretty difficult. But it reminds me of, like, games that I played growing up. Like your Lion Kings and Aladdins, where you have to be careful with every move and just like plot things out.
Like super precise precision platforming, but instead of platforming, it's like combat.
Right, combat. You can't get careless with the combat. Like a lot of hack and slash up to that point, you just mash square, right? But you can't really do that in this game. Otherwise, you get lucky most of the time. Otherwise you'd be lucky if you were just smashing square and then everything worked out for you. But after that, that's when game journalists got their hands on Dark Souls, which they were marketed as, oh, this is a game where you're gonna die, which is true. You are going to die. Yeah. And that's a great marketing campaign on the Dark Souls team's part, right? So game journalists took that and this is the hardest game I've played in years, and that's how that narrative came to be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'll be getting it, and hopefully it's not too time consuming. I'm playing a lot of like shorter games these days now.
Yeah,
Like try to like get that experience into like a smaller time frame, you know?
I've just like only been playing Legends Arceus recently. That's just all I play now. I'm trying to get the Pokédex maxed out. This game really said, "Listen, Robin from Newgrounds, we all know that you've never completed the Pokédex once in any Pokemon game legitimately. So here's a game that if you wanna meet the god of the Pokemon world, you have to fucking finish the Pokédex for once in your goddamn life." And I'm sitting here like exploring the same 2 areas over and over just to get all the wisps so I can do the Spiritomb quest, and I'm sitting there catching all these Pokemon and being like, "Oh, no, I can't get that one. I've already got it research level 10." Just
It's Breath of the Wild all over again with all the busy work.
It's like, I mean, it's okay. It's not as infuriating as the Korok seeds. I will say that.
Yeah.
Because
the wisps are manageable in my opinion.
The wisps are great because if you just have like your Braviary and you sleep until it's night, you can just fly around and see them glowing, which makes it a lot easier. With Korok seeds, you just literally can't fucking see them no matter what you do. They're the most bullshit fucking thing in the game, and it's awful.
The Korok seeds, like it's like, that rock looks strange. Oh wait, okay, this might be a Korok seed.
Yeah,
like some of them are so freaking ridiculous, and I don't even know how they implemented all those puzzles. I mean, props to them for taking the time to do all of it, but fuck you for giving us a piece of Korok shit after getting all of them.
I mean, okay, now on some level, I think that's pretty based. Just like here, you wasted your whole time. Here's a piece of golden shit for you.
Watch for Breath of the Wild 2. There's another Korok seed quest, and I'm just like, oh man, no, fuck you, not this time. And you get like some super ultimate legendary sword if you get all of them time around.
you get the Master Sword 2.
Master Sword 2, yeah. Reminds me of Final Fantasy IX, the Excalibur 2. There's a second version of that.
Master Sword been real quiet since this dropped.
Right.
If the Master Sword's so good, why isn't there a Master Sword 2?
We need a sequel to this Master Sword. I mean, come on now. But speaking of Final Fantasy, I actually finished the Endwalker DLC recently.
Oh yeah?
AKA last night at like 5 a.m.
Yeah, I've been seeing you playing that a lot.
Yeah, like I did not have a lot of time to attack it when it came out back in, I think it was first week of December it dropped, and I was trying to avoid spoilers as much as possible, and surprisingly the 14 community is very good at not screaming them from the rooftops like people who watch Marvel movies love to do. So like even in the chat, like you go in there and people will fight a boss that they fought like 10 times already that you're doing for the first time, and they'll be like, hey man, enjoy Endwalker, or welcome to the end of days, and like stuff like that. Like I was actually surprised. So Endwalker spoilers for anyone that's playing this game right now, but there's a couple of like, I would not recommend playing the last 5 or 6 hours of this game like in the middle of night. Not to say it's scary or anything, but I was reaching existential crisis levels of like feeling last night.
Oh god.
Yeah, because like that's literally what Endwalker is about. Like I guess in a nutshell, the bad guy that you think is going to be revived after like all these expansions, right? The bad guys kind of win and get to revive him, and it's not even like you fight it, but that's not even the bad guy, because they sacrifice that guy, and you realize that he was protecting the Earth from like a greater threat by just being sealed there. So now that he's gone and dead, like there's this other energy that no one knows exists called Dynamis that is basically based off of emotion. So they have like ether, which is like the energy of the elements, for example, and that's they measure things. So like I guess, you know, our own elements on the chemistry level in real life. Yeah, but that's how they do magic and stuff in that game. But there's like this other energy that they can't identify, much like, you know, a soul or love or feelings, things that we can't measure in real life. Like, apparently that's a source of energy, and that's being sapped from their world, and it would cause them all to just die a very gruesome death by transforming into these disgusting creatures and all this other stuff. So, basically you find out that the person behind all of this is like a creation from like ancient days who has the ability to feel emotions like much stronger than a lot of other people. And this creation, along with several other creations similarly to her, are sent to all these planets around the Final Fantasy planet, or the 14 planet. And you find out that all those civilizations died through either famine, or they killed themselves, or you know, they died from war or disease, etc. So like, this thing goes to all those planets and is sent with the mission to discover the true meaning of life and find that out from more advanced civilizations. And when she finds out all of them are dead, she's like, okay, I guess life is pointless, and comes back and basically sets a doomsday clock on the 14 universe. And yeah, so many years later, you're being protected by this Dark Lord that's been sleeping. And once you kill him, she's released again. And now the doomsday clock starts again. So last night, as I was approaching the end, like, you start to get a little bit of insight from those civilizations. And I'm thinking that they were going to take like the fantasy element, like, yeah, our planet died because of X, Y, and Z. There's this, and this is the part I want your opinion on, Rob.
Okay.
There's this race, right, that lives on another planet that the final area is like memories of all these dead souls and dead civilizations. So you kind of get to talk to them in this sense. There is a race called the Aya. And the Aya originally had bodies like similar to the characters in 14, or something similar to that nature. And they eventually decided that they wanted to go on this quest for knowledge and discover as much as possible to circumvent death and live for the rest of their life, right? And have immortality. So once they figured out how life works and getting around that clock, they can put everything toward knowledge, which they successfully do. So they discover a way to give up their flesh and blood bodies, and they're just energy at that point that are siphoned into these like little corporeal bodies of energy or whatever. And they use that immortality to study, and learn more about the universe, right? So they're like, we're going to tell you the secret of the universe. Are you ready to hear it? And I'm thinking, okay, well, this is Final Fantasy. They're going to say something outlandish and try to explain the universe. So then they're like, all right, fine. Like, you guys are not knowing this, but in the beginning, the universe started as one particle, and it expanded into a much larger particle. I'm like, oh, no, please don't do this to me. And they're like, yeah. And as life goes on, it continues to expand, and life was just kind of happenstance and accidental. And that kind of served the creation of our civilization. But then as we discovered more about the universe, we realized that it's going to keep expanding and die a cold, energyless death. And there's no way to stop that. So we have no idea, like, what's the point in doing all of this and, like, even becoming immortal? What's the point of that if everything's just going to kind of die anyway, like, universe-wide? And I'm like, oh, my God. None of this is not true. So, like, in that moment, I'm just like, man. Final Fantasy became final reality.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just interested in your thoughts of them incorporating that. Like, I find it just ironic that this, you know, super fantastical series just brought that element of like real shit into it, and that's kind of when I was just like, oh my God, they're not lying.
Yeah, I really like that. I think it's cool that they went with that approach, because, you know, they could have easily just gone with like, oh, this like really fantastical thing, but they just went with like, yeah, we don't know. We don't think there is a point to life. And I just, right. I don't know. I mean,
of course, there's like a happy ending to all that, like hope and, you know, living your life for what it is. And I agree with those things, right? You don't necessarily need that meaning to be like everyone wants to know what their purpose is, and I think that we have the free will to just kind of figure out what that is and try our best to achieve it in the time we have here. And I think that was like the beauty of Endwalker, in a sense. That's the message they were trying to give. It's just like friendships and love and meeting people and interacting and, you know, finding that purpose in life. And even when you finish one thing and you realize, man, I'm done with that now, you can go seek something else out. You can switch your purpose after a while. Nothing's ingrained in stone based on your past, and you know the future is always there, and you know you got to live life like that. So I thought it was a great message overall, but like that part of it just kind of had me stuck for a second, you know.
Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, like as like a writer myself, I don't know, I like that they went with that approach to it.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I guess the realer that it is just, even though it's a fantasy world, like, the fact that they're experiencing very similar problems to real life, it does make the story a little bit more meaningful, and I think that this is one of the best written in the entire series, to be honest. So anyone, like, thinking of picking it up after I just spoiled all of it, I think it's a great game. I think it's one of the best MMOs of our time. It may not be for everyone. It's super traditional at times, and it does have a lot of fluff and writing. But if you really appreciate writing, you know, look no further. I think you have to get to the first expansion for it to really stick to you. But the very first part is like them introducing all the characters, and of course, you're not gonna care about people if you don't experience the characters and what their motivations are and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people have no patience for that kind of thing anymore. You know, so, like, people are like, oh, it gets good by this time. Like, I've heard that meme for so many things.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, just experience a story. Like, you know, like, if you don't have time for it, you don't have time for it. But you don't have to, like, bash the idea that people are trying to suggest some medium to you. Like, some media to you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean.
But yeah, I'm glad that's done, because now I have time to write a script for my next video, which I was doing up until this point.
Yeah.
I really had to get it out of my system. I'm not sure if you feel that way about things in life. It's just like, I just need to get this done. Just close the book on this journey.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I definitely... I've said I know what you mean a lot this episode, haven't I? Jesus Christ.
I guess I'm speaking the truth today.
Yeah.
Straight truth.
Man, spitting facts.
Straight facts. Like the machine. That was a horrible joke.
I really hope Ricky puts up a picture of a fax machine on the screen when you say that.
Actually, Ricky, put up the video of the cat sending an urgent fax. All you have to do is Google that and you'll find it. So when I say straight fax, just throw up the cat just sticking that paper in the fax machine. I think that'll get us 1 million views.
I'll make that the thumbnail.
Should be the thumbnail, right?
Yeah. Title of this episode is Mentok Spits Straight Facts.
Straight facts.
Yeah. Oh no, wait. Okay, Ricky. This is live thumbnail creation right here. So take that GIF, right? Take the cat, but then put Mentok's like avatar's face over the cat's head, and that'll be our thumbnail.
Oh wow. Ricky, are you still awake? He's like, I have not played Endwalker. I didn't want to hear spoilers at all. Actually, Ricky, if you listen to that part and you're a Final Fantasy 14 player, I'm sorry about that.
I don't know if he plays.
That's one way to like
Endwalker.
You force your. Huh?
I don't know if he plays 14 or not.
It'd be funny if I forced our editor to listen to Endwalker spoilers because he has to edit our podcast, and
he's sitting over there like, you fucking asshole! I can't believe you. I was looking forward to this. You know what I have to deal with? I have to go to school. I have to go to work, and then I come here this shit, edit your stupid podcast, and you come here and spoil this game that I've been looking forward to playing for so long. What's wrong with you guys? Ugh.
I was literally at the last 5 hours that you just spoiled for me.
We've been very low energy for this one. I think we're both tired.
Speak for yourself, man. I'm eating my donut.
Yeah, you're eating your donut. I'm here covering up yawns every 5 minutes.
Is there any drama going on in the YouTube community? I missed that shit.
I don't think so. I don't think there's been any like big drama or anything recently.
Like nobody's apologized this month? I can't believe that.
I mean, I'm sure somebody has, but they're probably like not big enough for me to notice or care.
It's just crazy. Like sometimes I've realized that I'm slowly getting out of touch with Twitch and YouTube. I think I brought this up on like, maybe it's a stream, or maybe I've brought it up on the podcast before. It's hard to tell because I have to talk a lot every week now across 3 different platforms. So, like maybe I went to live stream fails, and like honestly that hits the front page of Reddit a lot for whatever reason. And if you ever go on live stream fails, Robin, like you'd realize you're totally out of touch with the streaming community.
Yeah.
Or just YouTube or streaming or whatever, Twitch. I don't even know who does what anymore.
Well, I think go ahead and continue.
No, I was just saying, like, live stream fails is the place. Like, nobody really fails on there anymore. Now it's like a subreddit for everyone to just post like streamer highlights, or like, I don't know. Have we talked about like Twitch houses and people like living together and stuff? I think we've done.
I think we have like a little bit, but I think I don't use Reddit, so I don't check out live stream fails. But I know that Ludwig on his second channel, Modal Mail, where he like goes like a little bit more down to earth and stuff, he talked about how live stream fails isn't that big, but for some reason it's regarded as like on par with like TMZ in the celebrity world, essentially.
I'll tell you why though, because there's like no other place where you can really share that efficiently. Like not even really Twitch. Twitch has clips, but it's not set up like YouTube where you'd be watching a ton of clips just go by. Like if you watch one person's clip, it will eventually bleed into somebody else's. But there's like no relation whatsoever. Like you'd be watching a clip and then it'll send you to like something else for like a totally different game or just chilling or somebody that you don't know about. So like that kind of thing is sort of like embedded in Twitch, but I don't think they're pushing it as much as they should. And then on the flip side, like on the subreddit, you just post those clips and all those people are like talking, and you see like the YouTuber community in a nutshell. I think it's just the easiest way to get a glance at it, considering there's no other real platform that has like as good of a setup, you know.
Interesting.
That's just my opinion on it. That's my take on that.
Yeah.
Somebody prove me wrong. But yeah, I mean, I go there and I'm like, who the frick are these people? John says to Pokey so-and-so. John says to Pokey that he thinks she's pretty. And then you click, and it's literally that. It's like, I think you're pretty, though, Pokey.
It's literally...
really? Thanks! And then the clip ends.
It's literally just tabloid nonsense. is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I thought, like, by browsing it, I'd get a better idea of, you know, what's trending in the community right now.
I think...
It really doesn't help whatsoever.
I think you're better off just ignoring that place, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like it's a bunch of, it's like a smaller Reddit within Reddit, right? So a bunch of people criticizing each other for fanboying for like a lot of these streamers.
It sounds like the biggest like horror show imaginable. Like Reddit enough is already one thing. A Reddit within a Reddit that's just even worse.
It's literally Reddit within Reddit. It's like it's a
oh god.
how dare you jump on Pokey for this?
It's like
she hasn't done anything wrong, and it's like, look at you simping for Pokey when you know that so and so. Like, it's just people like
that's
going
like
back and
almost
forth with
as
that.
bad as Twitter.
Yeah. Oh man, I respect those girl streamers, even though like, you know, they come up with controversy from time to time. Like I punch up at Pokemon all the time. Like I never like bash her as a person because I think she's very intelligent, very smart, and she knows what she's doing. Like I think she has the platform wrapped around her finger. But like whenever I see her post anything, oh my god, like the Twitter comments, yes, queen, do this, queen. And it's like that still hasn't died out. Like the whole queen thing, and like you're basically worshiping somebody.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of weird, honestly. I mean, not just with Pokey, but just with like everyone. Whenever like someone like looks at like a YouTuber, or even just like a normal celebrity, and is like yes, king, yes, queen. I love you. I want to marry you, or all this other weird stuff. It's like, dude, yeah, you need to chill out a little.
yeah, I'm using her as an example.
Yeah.
But like that's literally a lot of fan bases, and I think that's how you can like do a quick health test on your community, because if they're just worshiping you and, you know, I don't know, like I honestly, if I make mistakes, I want my community to let me know that. Like I honestly wouldn't feel. I think it's easy to put yourself like on a pedestal if people agreed with everything that you did, right?
You're gonna have to like you're gonna reach the point where one day you have to do what Ludwig did and just make a video titled "I am not your friend" and then just stare like in the camera for 15 minutes, dead serious, no music in the background, going, "Listen, I'm glad that you support me. I'm glad that you guys like me, but you don't know me. Please stop acting like we're friends, because we're
Right.
not."
But that's an important precedent to send, right? Because people get very familiar with you very quickly, and when you don't meet those expectations for that person, it's like heartbreak.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big YouTuber at all, but like that's happened to me a couple of times where, you know, like I'm sent an idea or like someone, oh, you should look at this content, and I'm like, this is not really my content, guy. And
Yeah, I saw that
you
the
know,
other day.
they'll take offense to that, and it's
I
saw
that in the stream the other day. I'm not gonna put the person on blast, but like they wanted you to react to something, and you were like, "Oh, I'm not reacting to things today," and then you got really angry, and then or like they got really angry, and then you just stopped the stream and stopped the music and like looked at the camera and was like, "Listen, I'm not doing reaction content today. I'm sorry,
right.
but you're telling me what to do, and I don't appreciate that, so I'm not doing
Right.
it." Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of what I've learned. Like, cause if you, and I'll bring up like Etika as an example, and I think that there's streamer communities out there that's even worse. I don't know if you know about like I Am Speed and those guys, Aiden Ross and those, like they're very young guys. Like I think they're like in their late teens right now, getting very popular.
I've heard of Aiden Ross. I've never watched anything from him.
Right. It's easy to like look at some of their content and be like super annoyed by like how they react to stuff, but you have to keep in mind that they're like super young too. I'm not talking to you in general, but I just mean like, you know, people viewing their content. Like I think it's either you like them or you don't like them. But they are like, they do extreme reactions, less so Aiden Ross, but more so like I Am Speed. He's gotten like 4 million views in a year, or 3 million like subscriptions in a year on his YouTube channel. He's like huge because he flips out. And like I think that, you know, he used to play NBA 2K or whatever. And I think that he used to like overreact sometimes. And you know how people get emotional over that game sometimes, right? So I think that initially brought in like they probably saw that clip, and then a lot of people started subscribing. Then he started doing that like a lot. And a lot of people can't tell the difference if it's him actually like playing a character or if he really needs help and he's stuck in between. And it brings me back to Etika to a lesser extent, because I think that guy like gave so much energy that people could not tell the difference on whether he was kidding or being edgy, to where he actually needed the mental help. And it got out of hand. And that's what I worry, because like the public will crush you and then apologize afterwards, right?
Yeah,
or like be remorseful afterwards and say they had no part in that.
Yeah, like I don't know. The worst thing about that whole situation for me was when like other YouTubers even like I'm thinking of a few people in particular, but I'm not gonna name names because I don't want to start anything. But like they were like on Twitter and they were like, "Oh, Edic is just faking all of this. He just wants attention and all this, and then like
and the money.
Yeah,
and that pissed him off.
Yeah, and like after he passed away, they were like went full damage control and was like, "Oh no, I wasn't. I had nothing to do with contributing to this man's death or anything like that. I was just saying, I was just analyzing it from what I felt or whatever." And it's like, dude, just stop.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna put the, I'm not gonna blame Etika for that.
Yeah.
But what's the reason a lot of streamers will get that type of audience is when they curate it.
Yeah.
So if you're too accepting of everything, people will throw everything at you, right? Because a lot of them are also kids, like people who like want to be edgy and they feel that they can say anything to anybody with no consequence. And you'll have a lot of these people will be like, "Hey, guy, do the thing. Why aren't you screaming? Why aren't you? This is boring." And like people will say things like that, and they don't realize like the immense stress that it takes to put yourself on camera and stream live in front of people that you don't know. So it's very important to tailor that expectation. And if you lose a viewer in the process, I think overall it's better for you, your mental health, rather than keeping people around and just trying to please everybody. And that may not be the fastest way to succeed, but it's definitely a healthier way.
Yeah.
Which is why it brings back to like what you said, like about last stream. I'm not going to name names either, but they're asking me to watch like a particular type of Sonic content when I'm strictly playing fan games in that moment. So I said the first time, like, "Hey man, like maybe I'll check it out next time." Like sometimes I'll do, quality streams where we'll watch content on YouTube and I'll react to it and stuff, and I can accept links, which I've done in the past. Like you've seen me do it, Robin.
Yeah, I've seen you do it. I've sent you links before and you've watched it too.
Right. So after a while, like after I say that should be it. That should be the end of it. Like the streamer has said that they're not going to do that content. Just move along. Find somebody else who would watch it if you don't want to stay in the stream. But this person pushed it and basically started using exclamation marks like, "Watch this now." And normally, whenever I see people demand that, that's when I stop the stream and I'll say something about it, because I don't like people talking to me like that. Like, I will stop the stream and say, "Hey, listen, like, I'm here to entertain everybody. If everyone collectively wants me to go watch these things, like, I'll take it in consideration. But this is my stream at the end of the day, and I want to play Sonic fan games. This is what I've decided on today. And, yeah, I'm not going to have you sit here and dictate and tell me what to do for the stream. If you're not liking the content, then come back another time when I'm reacting to YouTube streams." So I think it's like you have to set that precedent sometimes, because otherwise, if I'm accepting people screaming at me like that, then in the next stream, maybe people are going to be like, "Hey, no, don't watch this. Watch Needle Mouse. No, don't watch this. You should be doing Legos instead." And then you're going to be trying to please everybody and you're driving yourself nuts and you're wondering, "Man, what content should I be doing today?" and stuff like that. And I think every streamer kind of goes through that, and I'm like, that was a very lesser extent for me. So imagine these big guys with like 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 people in their chat. It must be nerve wracking.
Yeah. That's not something that I envy at all.
Hence Newgrounds, right?
Yeah. Newgrounds, and I have actually started working on some YouTube scripts as well. So I might see a comeback. I'm not going to promise anything yet, but yeah.
I honestly think the comments section is much more manageable, Yeah. Speaking of which, go leave comments and tell Ricky that he's a handsome guy.
Tell Ricky that he's good at editing.
That too.
Yes.
Do that. Tell him that first, and then say he's handsome.
Yeah. All right.
Priorities.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's where we're going to call this episode.
What is this, episode 15?
Episode 15.
My God.
I can't believe we're already at 15.
We've talked for 15 hours.
Jesus Christ, we have.
So, you know what? We should make a playlist.
We should. Yeah, I'll do that the next time I upload an episode. I'll make a playlist.
So, guys, all you have to do is click that playlist, and you can listen to 15 hours of me and Robin talking straight up.
Straight up. Maybe one day we'll put these on Spotify or something, too.
I wonder how hard it is to be a part of that.
I don't know. I remember Dallin said that he could hook me up with some people to get our podcast on other platforms, and I said I'll keep that in mind. But, we could probably talk about that off air.
Yeah, because I don't know what people are listening to podcasts on these days.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to be it for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all later.
Peace.